Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and we are in episode 5 of a 7-part series that is going through the main things that we are advising consulting clients in the coffee industry about preparing their businesses for the challenging times we're experiencing and moving forward over the next couple of years. So today we are talking about profitability and kind of connecting it with the last episode, which was about supply chain, and how do you take the constraints that are happening with regards to the supply chain and add to that the economic ramifications of supply and demand constraints to the products that you're able to offer your clients and the profitability that comes with that. That may sound a little intense and may have gone over your head a little, but I promise you that we're about to break it down and make it very simple to understand and give you some insight into how you can approach asking yourself these questions within your own business so that you can move forward and make sure that you are destined for success with the decisions that you're making. You ready? Let's do it. This podcast is brought to you by Map It Forward's new Patreon community, the Global Coffee Think Tank. Check the show notes or head to patreon.com/Map It Forward to find out how you can become a member today. Okay, so we are definitely in an inflationary environment right now. That's been the case for a number of months. A lot of governments last year were saying it's a transitory thing. It's not going to be sticking around. Just a quick reminder, inflation is the increase look at it a different way. It's the decrease actually of the amount that your dollar buys today compared to what it bought before. So the price goes up and a dollar today buys you less than it did yesterday. And it will buy you less than it will tomorrow. So this is an increasing inflationary environment. There's talk of what's called stagflation coming. What that means is that the price of things go up. So we have inflation in the price of living, the cost of buying groceries and the cost of going and buying a cup of coffee. That goes up, but growth, GDP stagnates. So the amount of money that we're producing as a nation, wherever that nation is stagnating. So if growth isn't increasing at the same rate as what inflation is, they tend to call that stagflation. Well, it's called stagflation. Anyway, I digress. So we're talking about profitability. In an inflationary environment, what that means is that you as a business owner are going to get hit with increases in costs before your customers are going to have to bear the brunt of that. Now, folks, I am seeing some super disturbing things in different coffee business groups around the world. Groups that have got like 60,000 cafes owners in there saying, we don't want to increase the prices of a standard espresso-based drink to our customers, but it's becoming prohibitive to sell it. Before all these prices went up, it was already a loss leader. If you don't know what a loss leader is, what that means is you have a product that you'll sell knowing that you're selling it at a loss, but it brings customers to your business and you'll make a profit on the other things that they're going to buy. This is a heavy misconception as a good business strategy in the coffee industry. And people who use coffee as a loss leader are getting bitten big time in the ass now. And I have been advising clients against it for many years. And the ones who didn't listen have closed. The ones who did listen are living to fight another day, which is awesome. But if you are using coffee as a loss leader, and in these groups, that's what I'm seeing, is they're saying, look, coffee, I was making a loss on it before, and already my clients were complaining because the prices were too high. I don't know what to do now. And this is a complaint that's ongoing. It just keeps coming again and again and again from people in these forums. And it's just fascinating to see the way that the messaging from other business owners isn't changing. You'll see one of two responses: put your prices up, or if it's unfair, don't screw your customers over. Well, that's absolutely the way you'll end up going out of business. And what it definitely signifies to me is this is somebody who doesn't know how to read the analysis that goes into pricing a product. And so if you are selling a product that you don't know whether it's generating a profit or not, and there are very clear ways to do these calculations. You can do very straightforward kinds of calculations, and they're available all over the internet. But by understanding, very basically, we'll go through it now, by understanding what your COGS are, that's the cost of goods sold. So what are the costs that go into making the product? Just the product, not the labor and the rent and all the other stuff. That's your operating expenses. But what's the cost that goes into making this particular product? Step 1. Step 2, what does it cost you to run your business? And what is that number as a percentage of your total revenue? So your operating expenses as a percentage of your total revenue. We're going to take that percentage and we're going to say our COGS plus that percentage of our sell price, that's going to tell us what it's going to cost us to run our business. With one other thing, make sure that you include any taxes in there. So if you have a VAT or you have a sales tax or you have a GST, whatever it is, add that as well. So our COGS plus our operating expenses, plus any taxes that can't be shown as separate from the sell price, that's going to tell you what your net percentage profit is going to be after that. So, excuse me, that's going to tell you if your sell price gives you any space for profit or not. This is really important to understand because as inflation continues to go up, as you get new invoices that are telling you, hey, the price of your milk's going up 20 cents a bottle, it's important for you to understand how is that price going up 20 cents a bottle going to affect every single one of my beverages. And you'll need to plug it into your spreadsheets to understand. So for those of you who are using coffee as a loss leader, that 20 cents going up means that you are going to start losing even more. Add to that the labor shortage and the expense and the increase of what it costs to have employees right now. And we're going to talk about that in a future episode. All of these things are weighing down heavily on profitability. So it is really important for you to understand if these coffees are going up in price. My green coffee supplier has come to me or my roaster has come to me and they've said, we're putting the price of our coffee up. This is how much it's going to go up by. You have to make some decisions. What coffees can you afford? What coffees can you not afford? And are you able to message to your customers if you decide to go with the increased price of the coffee? Are you able to go to your customer and message them and say, hey, listen, we're going to put up our prices and this is why we're going to put up our prices? Again, we go back to episode 1 of this series. Your values, your vision, and your mission. The way that you communicate with your customers is going to inform the way and how receptive your customers are to this change that's happening with this product that they buy either every day or every month or however regularly they buy it. But your communication strategy that's tied back to your values, vision, and mission are going to be Super important. And it's something that we keep bringing clients back to again and again and again. And just quickly, when you're coming up with a vision and a mission and your values, I mentioned in the first episode, for our customers, for our clients, they get to pick 4 values that are the foundation of their business. The vision and the mission should be no longer than 1 sentence each. Try and keep it at about 5 to 6 words even. And the reason is because you need to be able to rattle them off like that and keep reinforcing them and perhaps paint them on the wall so that all the staff and customers can see. The more concise you can be, the better or the more able you'll be to tie it back to these very challenging shifts that you have to make in your business. Profitability is so important because it means you get to live to fight another day as a business. It's important that you navigate profitability. If you want to be a sustainable business, it's important to navigate that with values and an understanding of what your vision and your mission are. Otherwise, you'll very quickly lose focus of where you're trying to get to once things get really tough. And we've seen a lot of that in the last few years. I hope this has been helpful. Please share this with your friends. Please consider subscribing, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Thanks, friends. If you enjoyed this video, here's what you should check out next. Consider supporting Map It Forward on Patreon and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell before you leave.